What's up, everyone? We are back with the August streaming. Let's see. Hope everyone's doing great out there. I figured out something that I was so happy that I figured out. Because usually I can't have like the AC running because it'll like hum. I figured out how to do the audio just as such that I don't have to do that. So let me know how the audio sounds. Hopefully it sounds nice and crispy, nice and tasty. Before I forget, I'm going to send out a link to the stream in the Discord. Sweet. Yeah, so I'm not like super far in this game, and I'm still kind of learning how it works. I'd collected like a ton of stuff and then died, and I didn't, some reason I was thinking like everything I collected I would lose, but I just lost everything like that was just in my inventory, which was crazy. Just lost so much stuff. It was kind of sad. But yeah, so this game's called Moonlighter. It's an indie game, and with these streams I want to focus more on like indie games and indie animations, and be like watching indie animations, kind of reacting, like breaking it down, analyzing and stuff. And this game's pretty cool because it's called Moonlighter because you're a shopkeeper by day, and then you're kind of like this adventurer dude in the night, going and adventuring out there. What time? Is it daytime? It is, and I have nothing on my table. I don't love the shopkeeping aspect of this game. I forgot I was trying to save up all the stuff I have for something. I'll just start with that, see how that does. Open for business. I guess those were good prices. So like as you're selling stuff, you're trying to find out like what a good price is, and then we'll keep track of it. So now when I go to put this here, if I click right trigger, shows they were super happy when it was 50, but they were kind of happy when it was 100. So This one, I don't even know how much. Just go big. It is crazy how fast like money can add up with selling stuff though. Wait. See, I thought that was just dirt, but it's worth something. Just have the same item for different prices. I hope that one's too much. Change the price real quick. See, I was at like 900, now I'm at like 2,000. Pretty nice. Let's see. 5. Okay. I don't want to get rid of too many things. Bum, 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 bum. Bum, bum, bum. Bum, bum, bum. Night's coming. The character in this reminds me of the Pokemon trainer from Pokemon Sapphire or Ruby. Maybe they're the same. I played both as a kid on the Game Boy SP. Oh, what? People still coming? Plant flesh. Yeah, I've never saw that before. I don't know, part of me's feeling like that, because that was in that like plant, there's a like a plant biome that I like found in the dungeons. Let's see. It's interesting, just like that 10 gold difference. It's just a little too much. You see all those lights turn on? That's pretty cool. Yeah, pretty good. And it's nice because like it keeps the shops open. There's something here I wanted, I think. Buster. A Buster sword. Huh. I might have to reboot the game. It's not letting me. That's so weird. Bizarre. I'm curious what happens if I go to... Just like gets rid of my cursor. Huh. I'm curious what happens if I go to a dungeon. Go into the dungeons. Oh no. I have like this little drone dude. Pretty helpful. Gotta heal. It was crazy because before like leveling up, that guy was so hard to try to beat. Can I like heal again? Nice. So I wanna open the next like dungeon thing, the next door. Wonder how, maybe it's 3. Oh, hello. remember. How do I do a shield? Oh. Oh, there we go. Man, I need room for more stuff. Can I combine those? Guess I can combine that. No, I didn't want that. Didn't want the sword. I don't know why it does that. You can't pick up all four. Is there a button to like search? Oh, that's not what I wanted. Oh, well, that gave me basically everything. I guess maybe that is what I wanted. Oh, dang. Well, sweet. There we go. Oh, but I can't pick up any of that. Oh yeah, you find out once you leave the dungeon. Oh snap! See, you can use that little amulet to leave. What was my mystery stuff? Oh, like a mushroom. I wish it like listed it out because it just kind of changes to whatever it is. But you can't really tell like which stuff you already had and then which stuff is new. But yeah. I wonder if I can talk to this guy now. No. Huh, that is so weird. So I can like quick move all of this so I could go back into the dungeon and not have to worry about losing it. Just skip the whole day. Skip the whole day. Was there only hero? No entry. How do I become a hero? How do I become a hero? Bum, bum, bum. Bum, 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 bum. Those little guys are so annoying. Ah. Oh no, stop! And yeah, on the YouTube channel, I'm posting more music. Got a new cover coming for Africa by Toto. Hello? Oh yeah, I've already read that. Just want to find the boss. Oh, I think I found him. Just like in Legend of Zelda games when right before the boss there's some tons of jars with parts. I wonder if there's like 3 like sections of each dungeon. This is Golem Dungeon 2. What? He wasn't carrying anything? Sad. Water lamp. Oh, that's what that does. Okay. No! See, that's what happens when you die. You lose everything. Hey, what's up, Nike? Thanks for stopping by, bro. I just lost all my stuff. All that stuff I got gone. Oh wait, no, I didn't want to go to town. I wanted to play again. Let me try that. Let's try that again. Kind of funny, this game was like on sale at one point, and huh. Oh, there's one of the forest areas. We can go check that out. It was only for like a short amount of time, and I realized that I had a rehearsal for choir, and I wouldn't get out in time to buy the game. So while I was sitting there in the risers, I like went and bought the game. I don't know what these are, like what the meaning is. It's pretty cool. It reminds me a lot of Legend of Zelda, these areas, like the Deku tree. But yeah, then it just ends, so it's like, huh? No, no, these little things are so annoying. Oh yeah, we found the boss. Yeah, guys, we got this. Take him out. Take him out. Almost took no damage. Well, actually, we can heal a little bit. Oh, is that one? Like, no double dipping. No double dipping. Huh. The colors. Bum, ba-dum, bum, 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 bum. Oh, what the heck? I keep accidentally changing my weapon. Huh, whoa. Ah, it didn't really work that time. Crystal rock, life fluid. I feel like the roots really aren't worth a ton. What is this? Huh. No, that's not what I wanted. Whetstone. Oh, what is this? Golem volume. Interesting. Okay. Man, that guy's too much. Peace out. Don't want to lose everything again. That'd be really sad. Interesting. The lighting started out okay with this light behind me off, but then it just got really red. It's really weird. I wonder if this will fix the shops. It's for those that are just coming in, like, there's like shops I can buy stuff from in this game, but it's not working. See, my cursor just disappears. It's really weird. This guy reminds me of Link. He looks like he's the same colors. Oh, what? Who's this? Man. Yeah, so I'm gonna have to close the game and then open it back up. I don't know if that will stay there. Just in case. Does it save when I sleep? Aha. Bum 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 ba-dum bum. Okay, we gotta restart that game. Because if I can't buy things from the shopkeepers, then it's like can't level up. That'd be kind of sad. Just want to make sure that it's streaming to YouTube. Oh. Huh, it's not saying that I'm live. Oh, this show can be mine. Okay. Oh yeah, I was gonna try out Moonlighter too. Cause this one's like kind of like pixel art, but Moonlighter 2 is like 3D kind of more 3D game. Okay, see, there we go. Now I can look at these. Can't really afford them. Well, that one I could. Oh, it knows how many I have? Well, that's kind of cool. Kind of sad that I don't have enough. Gloves. Huh. So I just need 2 more of the... Or getting the... Oh, sword and shield are big swords. Okay, interesting. I guess I could get these gloves. Yeah. Oh wait, the glove is a weapon? Oh dang. Yeah. Punch. It's kind of cool. Oh, we need that extra space. Le retailer. Man, I need a lot of gold. I guess we'll try this little dude. Yeah, got my little... I don't even know what this is. The like sentient turret or sentinel turret. Ba-da-ba. Okay, that's kind of neat. Yeah, punch. The gloves are kind of cool. Oh. I thought these gloves were gonna like give me stronger attacks, but it is an attack. It's interesting. It is really quick, so like the guy with the big sword hasn't been able to really like slice. Pretty nice. You can attack at an angle. Oh no! Oh no! That pot got in my way. Oh, that guy's so fast. And I think these dungeons are procedurally generated, which is kind of cool. Yeah, gonna fight the boss. So I need to see 50 attack. And that's 20 attack. I guess we could try the. Oh, what? Huh? Wait, what's going on? I'm so confused. Usually these are right by a boss fight. I guess it is procedurally generated, so. Oh, there we go. Oh! Gloves almost didn't do it. I wish I could, like, there might be an item for that. Maybe I saw that somewhere. Like, leave the dungeon, but then come back to this part. No, he stole my crystal. Oh, snap. I want my crystal back. What? Get it? Oh wait, no, that's not the drone guy. This is so sad. You see this? Oh, maybe that did it. No. Oh snap, this is scary. Oh, I don't have any room, that's why. That trick works pretty well. Anything I can... Oh, I forgot about this. So this can turn items into a small amount of gold. I should have done that with the stuff that I dropped. Yeah, I got it. Yeah, let's go. I really need a fountain. Yeah, no, we're out of here. Don't want to lose everything. That would be unfortunate. We'll just take it out of my chest, I guess. Oh, I need 4 more. been going to the gym and my muscles now are so sore. It's like, just lifting my arm. I guess maybe I get a key at the end of the dungeon. I wanted to try out the new Moonlighter game. Oh, whoops. Bum 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 bum. Da 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 da. Let's see. Da 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 da. Yeah, so we're gonna get the new Moonlighter game on Steam. Well, they have like not the full game, but oh, I earned a trading card. It's kind of cool. Play the demo. If we have room for it. How big is the game? Oh, I'm confused. I thought there was a demo. Some reason the demo is not showing up. Huh. Unless they made the demo not available anymore. Which could be. Huh. Maybe the demo is only available for a tiny bit. 'Cause it was in June that they said. Hmm, that's weird. Huh, that is really weird. Ba-da-da-dun-dun-dun-dun. Oh, I realized I wasn't sharing my screen. Here's the trailer.
We meet again, little merchant. Still taking up the challenge of a double life. Torn between one endeavor and another. Two sides of the same precious coin. In one life, you brave dangers, while in the other, you put your skills and hustle to the test to grow your store. As you chase that vision, you may pause and wonder,
It looks pretty cool.
is this pursuit more important than its destination? That answer lies within you, little merchant.
It says play demo starting June 9th. But where is the demo? When we launched the first Moonlighter, we were 22. Huh. Oh. Because they made it early access, the demo's gone. Huh. Well, that's a bummer. That's a bummer. I was curious if there's any like fun indie games on itch.io. Hmm.
Descend into the Underrealm. There's a mushroom cap, and the key. Descend into the Underrealm, where
This game
danger
looks
wears a
interesting.
mushroom cap, and the key to victory is just a card away. Shroom and Gloom is a first-person roguelike double-deck builder, bursting with fungal foes and mountains.
They have a
of
cool
mega
art style
combos.
for this game.
Two distinct decks. Use the Explore
And the
deck to
card
navigate dungeons,
cards is kind of
modify
cool.
your cards, and unearth new weapons. Switch to the Combat deck to hack, slash, roast, and eat the strange creatures that stand in your way. Choose your cards carefully. Grow wild abominations. Discover unholy synergies. Fight to reach the gloom one move at a time. Every decision matters. Every card could be the difference between victory or a new beginning. Shroom and Gloom. Play the demo now and see how far your deck.
Oh, do they actually have the demo though? Oh, they do have the demo. Here's how the game is played. Oh, dang, that's a big game. It's a big game. I could turn on some chill hop music. Live stream on a live stream. Yeah, we got Folder Dungeon. Oh, My bad. It's kind of cool that you can like run it right in the browser. Brings me back to the days of Flash games. Okay, what do I do now? Oh, we don't have enough money. Oh, the enemies drop loot. That's kind of cool. So I feel like you could just like basically just like button mash through this. Hopefully the music's not too loud. We're on the 4th floor now. Oh no, the mad wizard. Dang, he's strong. Interesting game. It's hard to tell like which door is which though. Oh no, I need a potion. Oh, what? Too much damage. Dang. An interesting game. Oh, what's up, base boss? Thanks for stopping by. If you're still there. Yeah, we're just playing like itch.io games. Oh yeah, I should probably change the title. Looking at different dungeon crawlers. Oh. Looks like a Game Boy game. WASD to move, Z or J. So K and J, enter shift. We're gonna have a wizard. Thief. Fighter. Maybe I want a cleric. Going into the dungeon. is locked. I feel like the music could probably be improved a little bit. Wow, we all missed. Yeah, bat defeated. There's an RPG game kind of like this on the NES. I feel like it was better, but this is probably made by a small team of people or just one person. Wow, I just have no keys. Duke him out. Ah, dang. Oh, this died. Oh, what? I have spells? What is that? Yeah, I don't know about that. Boom, 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 boom. Oh, a card-based dungeon crawler. Oh, hey Buster, breaking news. Indie artist pleads guilty to charges of playing games instead of making them. Buster here reporting for Twitch News. Nice. Oh, what? Who is that? What is going on? Oh, so he gives me a deck of cards. Build your hand. We're gonna get the... Ah, interesting. How do I get... Oh, there we go. Oh, but they're the only interesting. Huh. Interesting. Shoot him. There's all these characters. I just have weapons. Bladed wand. Picking up the money. Oh, nice. Reanimator. Animators. How do I bring it back? Oh, there we go. Nice. That's kind of cool. There's like not like a ton of strategy, it seems, to this game. It just kind of is. Converts depends into double. Huh, that's interesting. Oh, I see. I can't afford them. Interesting, interesting. So I'm gonna take a break. I got a D&D group to join, but I'll keep this stream going. Be right back.
James. Hey. No, you're good. If you want to go into the general chat, and there should be a link, a Tarrasque link. Go ahead. We'll go ahead and log into Tarrasque first, and then take the link. And so that'll be our battle map.
Hello.
And then once you get into it, you're going to want to zoom out a lot. Yeah. It's down at the very bottom of the general chat. Yeah, so you need to go and to log into Tarrasque first. Okay, cool. Then you should be able to go back to the link and it'll pop you in, because like the access is specifically given to specific people. Or I don't know actually if I did add you. If you want to, oh yeah, you know what? Post your email in either the private chat or the general chat, depending on if you want. If you don't mind other people see it or not.
All right.
But yeah, we need to
AFK,
add you to it.
couple of minutes.
Okay, cool. Okay. Yeah, let me. Perfect. Where is that? There it is. Okay, cool. Okay, I sent an invite to that email address. Might not need. Yeah, but yeah, just go check it out, and then it should give you direct access, and you should be able to get into. Should be the Amethyst Dragons layer, and then you're gonna want to zoom way out. Okay, perfect. Yeah, so zoom way out, and it'll be kind of the top right corner. You'll see a big yellow arrow. And you should see, yeah, where your character is. Oh, I need to give you access to your character. That is important. Controlled by James. All right, so you should be able to move your character around now. Perfect. All right, so let's get into the game. So quick recap. I believe I can't remember exactly. When was the last time you were here? It's been a while. Last thing you remember? Okay, gotcha. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So yeah, you were able to catch that. Fine. Nothing important happened from that. But you guys, after that, you went into the festival, where you presented all the offerings. You got to see each of them kind of turn into stars and go fly off into the sky. And then you each encountered a vision where you saw somewhere off in space, far, far away, you saw the goddess, he recognized as the goddess Saren, battling a bunch of kind of metal monstrosities and armored kind of mutated enemies. She seemed a little bit tired, still strong, but a little bit tired. And then you saw those stars that you sent off, which was all the offerings you guys made, come from her sky and descend and absorb into her, where she was empowered. She was able to wipe out the enemies. She kind of looked at you guys because she could see you guys through this vision. Thank you. And then when you came to, chaos was unfolding. Something happened within the watchtower, within the inner sanctum, that the barrier, the shield that kept enemies from seeing and knowing about the watchtower, protected the watchtower in the forest, that hid it and protected and prevented them from entering, went down. It's like a system error. And a portal opened up. A bunch of demons came in. Thankfully, there were your allies who were really strong. You guys, at this point, I think you were only like level 2 or 3. And there were enemies that were like level 15 that were there, that were fighting on your behalf, protecting you. And the enemies were also really strong. You were able to work together to put together to fix this machine. Mostly, it lost a lot of power, and an important part got launched out of the watchtower. You guys learned a little bit about the outside world, but most of your allies are dead. Mainly the allies that come from outside the forest to check on the watchtower and make sure it's functioning properly. Most of them died, including the person who knows how the technology in this watchtower works. You guys were able to sort of figure out the parts you saw. You got a tablet that's able to kind of help you out, like an AI system that can give you some information. Blackfeather was able to get a kind of a special suit of armor that he's wearing. You guys then were sent off into the forest, where you guys discovered, an important part, you guys were revealed to have been chosen by Saren to help protect the city. Normally, the forest has an illusion that prevents people from seeing and navigating it. But you guys are protected. You guys were able to get the shield and the stealth back online, but there's a system called the balance system that keeps the forest kind of in check, keeps it balanced. You're able to learn that there's different kind of territories within the forest that are ran by powerful creatures that are meant to kind of protect and maintain the forest. But that there's the powerful force that keeps them in there and keeps them from kind of causing havoc to each other. You guys weren't able to restore that. You need this part in order to restore it. So you went out in the forest. You found that it's not, everyone else sees just dark mist. You guys see the forest as it is because you're protected by Saren. You encountered a cute little hedgehog lady with grass on her back instead of spines, quills, who was able to kind of help you understand. She told you a bunch of this, mainly that the territories and that there's these crystal flying creatures that are friendly. She led you to one of them, which you encountered and found that it was a adult sapphire dragon. You learned that these dragons are mostly neutral, and the older ones have been there since the founding of the Watchtower. But at least most of them have kept to themselves. It's been a long time, so they've forgotten a lot of the information. But they're willing to help you, but they also are a little upset that you guys didn't fulfill your end of the duty of protecting the forest. And they're helping you, expecting that you're going to be able to remedy it. So the Sapphire Dragon flew you to your destination. Along the way, you encountered a Ruby Dragon who basically kind of reiterated that he recognized
his whole life becomes very tied to the Jedi, the Force.
Something had happened.
Hey everyone, welcome back to Rupees Over Ramen, the show where we talk about animation, creativity, the creative process, and tons of other nerdy stuff. So I am here today with my friend Christian. We're going to be talking about Star Wars, Rebels, and Rogues. So just kind of like that time period in between Episode 3 and Episode 4. Star Wars and like Lucasfilm and LucasArts have come in and just created all these different stories within that time period now, and it's really interesting seeing how all those fit together and like what each one is about. But first, let's give the audience like a little introduction to you and like your background with art and creativity. Like what kind of stuff have you liked to do in that realm of things?
Yeah, I'd love to do that. I've been a Star Wars fan all my life. I've loved it, particularly became fond of it later, especially like during college. Absolutely love the lore. I love exploring the history of it. I love the characters, and I love the Clone Wars especially. I have not dived too deep into Rebels, but I understand some basic knowledge about it, and that's why we're going to talk about some callbacks in Rebels to the Clone Wars and how that influences some of the story in that. I was roommates with James. I was roommates with James in college a while back, and we just grew close to be really awesome friends. As far as my experience with art, I've done a lot of drawing. So yeah, I have some experience with photography and making dumb videos with my brother, especially with like skits and things like that. And I love art. I love meaningful storytelling when it helps people, when it helps make life a little bit more colorful and awesome. I just love that.
That's sweet. That's really awesome. Yeah, Christian is one of the roommates that we watched Gravity Falls with. So if you guys have seen that episode that I did with Kyle. And then I did an episode on Avatar: The Last Airbender with my other roommate, Scott. So now we got all of us on here. So it's pretty awesome. And I love Star Wars too. I like grew up actually in this room, under that staircase right there. I had like one of those little TVs with the VHS player in it, and I would watch Star Wars under there with tons of like blankets and pillows and stuff. But I only had episode 1 and then episode 4, so like the beginning of each trilogy. So I just like watch those back to back, see like the start of Anakin's story and then the start of Luke's story, and be like, this is an interesting like
that's cool
experience. Yeah. I actually really liked episode 1.
Yeah.
I don't know if I love all the prequels, but yeah, we're not going to cause a fight in the world. But
episode 1's low-key pretty good, especially with like the fight scenes. And I just remember eating tortilla chips while watching the VHS tape.
yeah, no. Yeah, VHS. Those were the days. So, like Christian was saying, I'm gonna kind of be the resident authority on like Star Wars Rebels, and he's gonna give more of that side on Clone Wars, because I have seen like a couple of episodes, but haven't really seen a ton of the Clone Wars. So he's gonna kind of connect the two together.
Yeah, I could say the same for Rebels as well.
Yeah. So we're kind of, one of us is coming, each of us has like little knowledge in one thing and then a lot of knowledge in the other, and we're gonna come together. So it's interesting because both of these were animated in a very similar style. Some people don't like the Rebels style because they kind of made it more filmic and kind of softened edges a little bit. But the visual style of Rebels, I found this quote how it was inspired by the original Star Wars trilogy concept art by Ralph McQuarrie. And you've probably heard of him before. He did a lot of the concept paintings of like different areas in Star Wars. And there's one that I remember a lot. It's like the inside of the spaceship. And he did one for Chewbacca, I think. And Chewbacca looked very different in the time. But his art style is like...
Yeah, there's like a stormtrooper with like a lightsaber. That was supposed to be Darth Vader at one point.
Oh, interesting. I don't know if I've seen that art before. That's super cool. That's fascinating.
The stormtrooper was originally supposed to be Darth Vader, I believe, with a lightsaber. And then Luke Skywalker was supposed to be a guy named Starkiller, and he wore a scuba diver mask. So that was supposed to be the original Luke Skywalker, but he was going to be named Starkiller or Jake Starkiller or something like that.
Interesting.
I'm glad it turned out different.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember seeing a thing with Mark Hamill talking about being Luke, and he talked about when he read the script, it was called something Starkiller when they first saw it and when they were first getting like actors and stuff for the movie. For like the animation and look development, it was like part Ralph McQuarrie and then part actually Hayao Miyazaki, because I can't remember what her name is, but like the head of Lucasfilm, she still works there.
Is it Kathleen Kennedy?
Yeah, Kathleen Kennedy. She really loved Hayao Miyazaki's work and like his character design and his concept work. And they really wanted to have like this combination of those two amazing artists in this series. And I was very curious of like what it was animated in and what Clone Wars was also animated in. So I was doing some research and I couldn't find anything until I just like made a guess. I was like, was Star Wars Rebels animated in Autodesk Maya? And then all of these things came up about like the background of making it and something with like animating Darth Maul in Maya. And I was like, oh, okay. I've done once, like one thing in Maya. I animated a character like breathing. I think you've seen it before. It's like Link. He's kind of breathing and chilling for a bit. So that took a good amount of time just for that little thing. But I did see like the power that Maya had. So. And it's industry standard for the most part.
What you're saying is that they'd use Autodesk Maya to do the animation for both shows. Okay, that's interesting. It's interesting because so the original idea is that George Lucas, when he owned Star Wars at the time, he wanted to create a television show for kids. So George Lucas was into things that people weren't necessarily thinking about at the time. So one thing that he did, this goes way back. So I don't know if you remember in like 2002 or 2003, but George Lucas and he had an animation team create a different show way before the Clone Wars called Star Wars: The Clone Wars. But this was all pencil drawn in the style of Samurai Jack. Because he really likes the way that it looked, and it kind of represented a different side of Star Wars. And it was very kid friendly, even though the story is very like deep and it's a little crazy. But later on, he took on Dave Filoni, who originally worked with Avatar: The Last Airbender as far as the storytelling goes. And then they worked together to create the first Clone Wars movie, which was a kind of an odd choice because not necessarily everyone understood what was happening or like where these characters came from. And it was kind of an odd release in a movie theater. A lot of people didn't know if it was like another episode of Star Wars, but it was in a way, it was supposed to be a launch to the show. If you look at the animation style, it's very rigid. A lot of the characters are very straightforward. A lot of their jaw lines don't really match up with their speaking. And I don't think that's necessarily true. Their jaw lines do match up with their speaking, but it's not as like natural and fluid. The characters' movements. I just think of like Captain Rex when he's trying to talk and stuff. His jawline moves up and down. That's what it appears in my head to be like. but they were pioneering something new. If you look at that in the last episode in the last season of the Clone Wars, you can see a complete transformation over time, like from the first movie, the first episode, to the 100th episode, to the last episode, to Rebels and the Bad Batch. You can see this kind of shift and change from being super rigid to being very human-like and fluid. And in the duel between Ahsoka and Darth Maul in season 7, the final season of the Clone Wars, they actually used motion-capped suits for the fighters, for the martial artists. And it's very interesting how they went from there to the most recent one of the Clone Wars. And then if you watch the Bad Batch, you can see that there's a lot more fluid movement and things like that. So it's very interesting how they got way better over time as they learned how to work with it. I don't know if you've seen Tales of the Jedi or Tales of the Empire, but it's very similar to. So it starts out with like a very kid-friendly vibe, and then over time you can just see it mature into like more of like a gritty, dark, sad, depressing kind of deep atmosphere around it, and everyone's super fluid.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I don't know if you have any comments on that.
Yeah, no, especially so I've seen Tales of the Jedi, and I really love that, like seeing Ahsoka Tano's like story and seeing stuff with like Count Dooku. And I saw like trailers for Tales of the Empire, and it looks pretty intense. I haven't seen it yet. But it's interesting that you bring a Bad Batch, because I watched that show all the way through, at least what they have right now. And I was just like, dang, this animation style has come like so far, like the technology and stuff. I think the clone troopers have like the glowing visors. It's like blue, and it just like they have some really amazing like cinematic stuff in that show.
Yeah, and you can see like the shift from like the very first episode of the Clone Wars, where it's very kid friendly. There's a lot of like colors and things like that, to more of like a muted. And if you notice that there's a lot of lighting changes that have been made, and I feel like that's a wise decision that they've made, especially with like lighting on the faces. And like the Bad Batch, for instance, there's a lot of like lighting and mood that they're really shifting and focusing on. There's like this one scene where there's like a scene, I don't know if you can pull it up in your podcast episode later, but there's like a scene in the last season of the Clone Wars where Rex is talking to Darth Sidious, and this is right as Order 66 is about to happen. And you can see the lighting is coming from underneath Captain Rex, and it just comes across as like, oh, this isn't really Captain Rex. He's under the influence of someone else. And just the lighting tells a lot about the story of the character, what's going on through their head. And then you can see lighting, I don't remember exactly, I haven't seen the episode in a while, but the lighting changes where Captain Rex is struggling to shoot Ahsoka or not. And the lighting, I feel like, is really where the story is being told in the animation.
Yeah, no, I definitely agree. And it was interesting because I saw the breakdown of a shot that was with Darth Maul in the Clone Wars, and just like before they put in the lighting, it just looked so like empty. But after, just like that lighting pass of just some lighting artist going and putting in the lighting and doing it like with purpose, like story purpose, and like the emotions of the character, it just like totally changes the whole scene. It's pretty.
You can see the clash between blue and red in that last episode in the duel, and it just looked so appealing to look at. You're just like, oh my goodness, this is really cool.
Yeah, they speak really well with like color palettes and color schemes, and using color and how it kind of ties into emotion. And it's interesting with what you said with the Clone Wars style improving, because I saw that also with Star Wars Rebels. When it started, it was just kind of like, ooh, this is not the style. But then like season 2 and definitely season 3, like they were really finding their stride. And I don't know if you've seen Dragon Prince, but it also kind of follows that same improving of animation. So the writer of it like worked on Avatar: The Last Airbender, and it's on Netflix. But it starts out and it's 3D animated, and it just feels so not fully animated, just movement of stuff. But over time, they're able to understand the tools better and understand the animation systems, be able to improve it. So yeah, it's pretty sweet.
It's so interesting, especially like we live in a world where like you notice like they do really well with the first episode, and then I've noticed this a lot where like with the first movie or the first episode, and the quality starts dropping over time.
Yeah, yeah.
With the animated aspect of Star Wars, it's the opposite, which I love. Where like they
Yeah.
start figuring out like, okay, how are we gonna do this? And they're like, okay, this is what we did last time. This is how we can improve. Even with like I know Battlefront gets a little bad rap, especially with its curse of not having a third installment. But like they started out with the first one, and they're like, okay, here's some improvements we could do, and then they put it in the second one. So I just love how like the creators of Star Wars, maybe people will disagree with the sequels, but we're not going to talk about that. But like, but with like the animated part of Star Wars, that's the one I'm focusing on. Is it starts out with figuring out what we're going to do, and then later on it tapers to more of like, oh, this is getting better. This is what we know. I think the animators start understanding the story more, and they're like, okay, this is how we can convey that more, especially when the director or the head person is figuring out, for instance, Dave Filoni, when he's telling his creators, okay, this is the story we're trying to tell, portray it with this kind of lighting, or maybe having this kind of grit in it.
Yeah. Yeah, and talking about like the lighting, just briefly, the CG lighting and effects supervisor was Joel Aaron, and he's actually the one who he narrates. I'll have to send you the video and probably put it in the show notes too. But he talks about animating Darth Maul and like how they did things with like the eye line, like to show like what his mental thought, like if he's super angry in this moment or if he's more reflective, and it allows you to connect more to his character. And yeah. And the voice actor for Maul too,
Sam Witwer.
Yeah, Sam Witwer. I like looked him up. I'm like, that's the guy who voices Maul. And I saw a thing of him at like no, I wasn't there, but I saw like a video of him at like a Comic-Con, and he like does the Maul voice. It's pretty impressive.
He has a lot of Star Wars knowledge. He's super passionate about his characters that he portrays. I don't know if you remember the Force Unleashed games. Do you remember those?
Yeah, I do remember those.
So he was the mocap and voice actor for Starkiller in that, the main character.
Oh, okay.
And he was also the voice actor for Darth Vader and Emperor Palpatine as well.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, he does a really good job. Yeah, he just has a huge passion for Star Wars. And then like he did the voice for Darth Maul, and he just comes across as very like dark and brooding and plotting, just like Darth Maul would be. I think he's done a bunch of other characters, but I don't know who they are.
Yeah. I
just wanted to put that out there.
No, that's cool. And that's the one I was trying to think of, because they bring, like you said, like Luke kind of started out as his last name being Starkiller, but then they bring that idea back with the Force Unleashed. And and it's interesting how a voice actor can really put a lot of depth and character into a character. We're going to talk a little bit about like the different characters and voice actors. But one thing I wanted to say that was really interesting is, one, you were talking about how like Clone Wars came out as a movie, and I found out that when Star Wars Rebels first like came out on like Disney Channel or Disney XD, it premiered as a 1-hour television film for season 1, and then a 1-hour television film the next year for season 2, and then a 1-hour television film for like season 3. I just didn't know that, and it was really interesting to see that, because I watched it as like a show. Like later on, I watched it on Disney Plus. But yeah, it was really interesting to see how they did that, how they made it kind of this trilogy of films, like another trilogy. And
cool. I had no idea.
Yeah. Another thing is the main character, Ezra Bridger. He's like 14 or 15 in the series, and he was born on Empire Day. And one thing I didn't realize is it talks about the story. It says it was 14 years after the fall of the Jedi Order. I think it's about 5 years before New Hope, like before the events of that. So Ezra Bridger was born at the fall of the Jedi Order, which is really interesting because he becomes, his whole life becomes very tied to the Jedi and the Force. And it's a very interesting thing. And in that show, like when Empire Day comes, like he's in this conflict of like, this is my birthday, this is like the day I was born, but then it's also the day that this galactic empire took over and has been oppressing the universe and stuff and the galaxy. So
that's got to be an interesting like identity crisis in a way. Yeah, he's like born on the day where the empire rose, but also like that's his birthday, and it's like in a way it's like supposed to be happy and tragic at the same time. So I guess that really describes, I don't know Ezra Bridger that well, but from what I've understood. He kind of struggles kind of the same way with Anakin, both the light and the dark, and in a lot of ways. Sometimes, so that could be a reflection of where he's at.
Yeah, and it's interesting because like Darth Maul becomes a huge part of the Rebels story.
Mm-hmm.
And when Ezra meets him, he doesn't really know who he is. He's kind of like wearing a hood, and he's just kind of like, Ezra's lost and he needs a guide. And this hooded guide, he's like, I can guide you through. So he develops this connection to Darth Maul that you probably wouldn't see any other character develop, it's super interesting because you get to see this other side of him. And just like a run through of the characters, Ezra, and then Kanan Jarrus, he's kind of like the Jedi mentor, like the Obi-Wan.
Mm-hmm.
And then Ahsoka Tano actually has a role in the show as well. And then on the crew of the Ghost, which is kind of their Millennium Falcon, if you will, they have like Sabine Wren, she's like Mandalorian, Hera Syndulla. I can't remember what the alien race is.
Twi'lek.
Yeah, Twi'lek.
Twi'lek?
Yeah. So that's what she is. And she has a really interesting past, and she actually shows up in some other Star Wars things. And then Zeb Orrelios, he's big buff like alien dude. And then Chopper's one, you've seen Chopper, and like I'm pretty sure he's in episode 4 of Star Wars, like the beginning when they first like see when they first see R2D2, like when they choose him, I think Chopper's like right beside him and they're about to choose him, but he's kind of a little messed up, and they're like, hey, like they're Luke is getting them from like Jawas, and he's like, hey, this isn't a good deal, like this droid is messed up, and they choose R2D2 instead. So I think it was really interesting how Dave Filoni and like the Star Wars team, they're able to bring Chopper into his own story and give him like a role and give him a life and like a background. And yeah. Thank you all so much for listening. Part 2 of Star Wars Rebels and Rogues is going to be coming to you soon. Will be the 64th episode of Rupees Over Ramen. See you guys then, about a week from now. Peace. Good times are ahead, so grab a nice hot bowl of ramen, some chopsticks, and join in on the discussion every month. His whole life becomes very tied to the Jedi and the Force. Hey everyone, welcome back to Rupees Over Ramen, the show where we talk about animation, creativity, the creative process, and tons of other nerdy stuff. So I am here today with my friend
The Jedi were so concerned that Anakin Skywalker was going to fall to the dark side that he fell to the dark side anyways.
Hey everyone, welcome back to Rupees Over Ramen, the show where we talk about animation, creativity, the creative process, and tons of other nerdy stuff. Every character in this series has amazing character development. Even Chopper. Like he goes from this like really annoying kind of he's kind of like sassy, I guess. Later in the series when some really emotional stuff happens, he's there like comforting Hera and like some of the other members. Ezra goes off on his own and Chopper sneaks aboard the ship so that he can be with him and so that he's not alone. And so it's just, it's pretty cool.
That's cool. I love how like we're just getting every single character that you see on screen and getting a backstory every year. There's like, I don't know, this is probably not relevant, but like there's like this fan page somewhere of the ice cream guy from Star Wars. Where he's like,
I remember him.
Ice cream bucket from episode. So for your listeners or viewers, in episode 5, The Empire Strikes Back on Cloud City, like in the hallway as pandemonium is spreading and the people are freaking out that the Empire's going to take over, there's like this one guy carrying like a tub and it looks like an ice cream bucket, and he's just running around, and there's like an actual action figure of him somewhere, and he's just running around, and there's people like who go to Comic Cons who dress up as him. But I just love like that's just like symbolizing like how like every single character gets its own story and stuff.
Yeah, yeah.
There's not very many franchises do that to their characters.
It's true. It's true. Yeah. There's like this big fan base and
Or tie-ins and things like that.
yeah, yeah. So it's pretty sweet. And one thing that I didn't realize until I was like doing some research and stuff into it is like this characters and like the ideas. I guess the ghost, like the ship that they fly, shows up in Rogue One. It's like when they're attacking, it like shows up there and actually shows up. There's no sequels that exist, but it shows up in those unexisting sequels, like in the last battle.
Yeah, I remember seeing it in the background.
Yeah, so it's really it's really cool, like how you can see that a lot of people care and like they want to include all of these different parts of the story and all of these different things that have been a part of it together. So it's pretty sweet. And I was looking through the voice actors of this show, and I was like, what the heck? Because I knew James Earl Jones is like Darth Vader.
Yeah.
One thing I didn't know was it was his last time voicing Darth Vader before.
Really?
Yeah. Before he gave away basically the rights to recreate his voice, which I didn't realize that they had started doing that, but I guess it makes sense. He's getting pretty old.
Yeah. He actually passed away last year.
Oh, yeah. Dang. What?
Yeah.
No, he was, I don't know if you know this, but he was also in, this is going to be like, there's a Tall Tales animated movie where I had like Paul Bunyan and like Johnny Appleseed and John Henry, and he was the narrator for that.
That's so cool.
That's what I first knew him
I think
from.
he's done other projects. I think like what you said, he had narrated that. He's been Mufasa, he's narrated.
Oh yeah.
I wonder if he's narrated some documentaries just because he has that deep, rich voice. And I think there's like a Bible he narrated at one point as well.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
That's
And
cool.
beautiful voice.
That's super cool. I'll run through some of these voice actors. Jason Isaacs was the Grand Inquisitor. So he's the one who plays Lucius Malfoy in Harry Potter.
I had no idea.
Yeah. So I was like, what the heck? They should have had him play the Grand Inquisitor in like live action. I think that would have been cool to see that.
Yeah, that would have made sense.
Yeah. They actually did that with a lot of the characters for, I haven't seen it yet, but for the Ahsoka Tano show, like Lars Mikkelsen, he's like the brother of Mads Mikkelsen, played Thrawn. He's like the blue guy, and he plays the live action version of him as well. And then like D. Bradley Baker, he voices Captain Rex and all of the clone troopers in the Star Wars, and he actually voices all of the main characters in the Bad Batch, which is crazy. Like he does just different voices for each of them and gives them each
He's just constantly talking to himself.
Yeah. I just imagine like the voice acting sessions, like voice recording sessions, he's just in the booth just with his script talking to himself. Yeah, man, what do you think? He's like, yeah, that sounds good. Let's go save her.
That's gotta be an acting achievement right there.
Yeah.
Being able to voice multiple characters. You can't do it all at once, but understanding the emotion behind each character and then responding to the other characters you voiced. That's gotta be really, really incredible.
Yeah, no, it is pretty amazing. So yeah, he's super cool. Another one, Hondo Onaka, which he's in other Star Wars stuff too.
Yeah.
So you may have heard
his
of him.
voice so many times in different things. I've heard his voice for like, I don't know if you remember the old trailers on like the Disney VHS tapes.
Oh, okay, yeah.
I remember hearing his voice on some of those. Coming soon to VHS or whatever.
The original Star Wars trilogy on video. One last time.
Yeah, Hondo Onaka, there's a character in Star Wars, and he's voiced by Jim Cummings. He voiced Winnie the Pooh.
Oh, I had no idea.
Yeah, so it's like kind of ridiculous. Because in the Star Wars movie, in Rebels, he's like this like pirate captain. He's always like out for himself and like trying to...
questionable morals.
Yep, exactly. Dante Bosco voices Jai Kell. He's only in a couple of episodes. He voiced, for people who don't know, he voiced Zuko from Avatar: The Last Airbender. I had no idea. Yeah, so, and people wanted him to be the live action Jai Kell because Jai Kell was in Ahsoka Tano, but they decided to choose someone younger, which is, it makes sense. But
So, I'm not familiar with Jai Cal. Who's the character?
so I had to look him up because I couldn't quite remember him. He lives on Lothal. He's a Lothalian. And I think Ezra meets him he pretends to be a cadet, like at this academy, like the Star Wars, well, not Star Wars, like an Empire academy, like training for the Empire. And he's one of the students that he trains with.
So he ends up being a good guy.
Yeah, he ends up being a good guy. Yeah.
Okay. Getting good guy vibes from the photos.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I just want to ask you, if you were to recommend someone the order of watching Star Wars, whether it be shows, books, comics, movies, how would you go about it, or how would you recommend someone
Yeah. No, that's interesting.
to understand the depth and the story and the characters the best?
Yeah, that's an interesting question. I don't know the exact order off the top of my head, but I would definitely include the animated Star Wars stuff. Like I would watch it chronologically. So I think that would probably start with episode 1. I don't know if they've done any animated stuff that happens before episode 1.
I don't think they have. It's just some games and stuff.
Yeah, they have some games and
The
comics.
Acolyte, but we're not going to talk about that.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, we're not going to talk about that. Yeah, I think chronologically would be really cool to watch it in that way, especially with the animated series and stuff. I wonder if someone's put a list together like that. So you'd kind of like the rough version of it, you'd probably be like episode like 1, 2, and 3, and then there's a lot of like stuff that happens kind of around 3 and before 4, like Rogue One, that movie. I actually really love the movie, and just like the direction of like the filmmaking, and yeah, it's beautiful. I love it. But then also the shows like Clone Wars and Rebels and The Bad Batch, because I feel like it just gives you like this really cool like depth to everything. Yeah,
I agree. And there's another way to watch it as well. And actually, Sam Witwer, the actor for Darth Maul, he recommended this method. I saw a video where someone was asking him a similar question of, how would you recommend your child to first get introduced to Star Wars? He said, I would first have my kids start out with watching the Clone Wars entirely, just so that they're not going to see Anakin turn to the dark side, but they're going to see Anakin in his best role possible, where he's struggling, he's a character, you love him, and then have your child watch episodes, try not to make it confusing, but like start with the Clone Wars, then with like the Bad Batch and Tales of the Jedi, things like that. But then watch episode 4 and then 5. And then once the kid sees Darth Vader tell Luke, no, I am your father, it just hits differently. It's like, wait, like the kid, your child is going to be like, you're going to be on the side of Luke Skywalker where you're like, no, that's impossible. I remember Anakin, like he was a great guy. And then that's when you can start watching the prequels.
Oh, interesting.
And then you watch episode 6 and you're like, oh my gosh. This character has fallen, and it's just that'd be interesting.
It would be kind of like this like flashback almost, like going back to the prequels.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see like how like George Lucas put a lot of thought into his characters, and he also gave guidance to Dave Filoni and Jon Favreau on figuring out which direction to go with some of the shows. So it's interesting, like there's just a lot of depth that they just keep adding more and more and more, and it just gets crazier and crazier. The hard thing about becoming a new fan of Star Wars is like, where do you even start?
Yeah, no,
So,
it's true.
If you're a new fan, or if you're someone who just has no idea where to start, you can just start with release order or order of release. Start with just like episode 4. There's dozens of timelines online. If you just Google like, how should I watch Star Wars? There's going to be lots of things. But personally, I think just watching it just in release order, it should be fine. And you'll understand the story very well. Episode 4 is like the go-to basic episode to go with.
Yeah, I think that would be a good one to start with. I've always thought about like some like super weird orders, like trying to watch them backwards or something.
Yeah, there's this one YouTube video I saw where like this guy's like, how to watch Star Wars in the worst way possible. Start with like episode 6 so that you are so confused or something like that. Or start with the Acolyte, or start with the Book of Boba Fett or something like that.
Like what is this? Why do people like this? This
It's
like,
like where are we?
yeah, man, yeah. The Book of Boba Fett. Sadly, that it didn't really hit very well, except for the episode with the Mandalorian.
Yeah.
That one was good. It's interesting, like with the Clone Wars, because that's something that I've heard with Anakin. You see this totally like you see the good side of him. Because one thing I never like always bothered me with the prequels is you go from episode 1, and Anakin's like this little kid who like he loves flying ships and stuff, and he's like rebuilding this droid, and he goes off to be a Jedi. And then like episode 2, he's like kind of like emo kid and isn't caring at all really anymore. And I don't know, like I don't see the transition between those two characters. So it's really cool to see in
Yeah.
Clone Wars. You can see like the relationship that he has with Obi-Wan and how he's this mentor to Ahsoka. And yeah. And
Yeah, that's the one thing we're missing is that timeline. There's books and stuff, but no one really reads the books a lot of the time. But like there's that timeline, like you said, that's missing between episode 1 and 2, where we're trying to understand, because a lot of people like to focus on like the Clone Wars between episode 3 and 4, and then like the sequels and stuff. But yeah, we're missing the aspect of like why is Anakin kind of struggling, and also Palpatine's like trying to like prepare him to be his next apprentice. We're being told in the story like, oh, Anakin's the most powerful Jedi ever. But like we don't really get to see it a whole lot of like why Palpatine found him to be so interesting, why he's being called the chosen one, and a lot of his like deep personal experiences. So I think having an animated show about like young Anakin or Padawan Anakin could be interesting. Maybe like 1 season 6 episode thing could be could be helpful to understand like where Anakin's coming from.
Yeah, no, I think that would be really cool, especially since this style that we were talking about that's been used for Clone Wars, Rebels, Bad Batch has come so far. Like you could really make a really cool, compelling cinematic story about Anakin.
We could also like see the good side of Anakin, because I feel like there's a lot of focus on like him foreshadowing to go to the dark side. But I think maybe seeing the hopeful side of him, like the good parts at this point in time, we're talking about between episode 1 and 2, where he's a Jedi Knight. He's learning about the core values of being a Jedi and how that influences a person deeply and how that affects the world around him.
Yeah.
So I think that could be really interesting. And here's another thing. Here's the antithesis. I think Disney's missing out on a lot of great ideas, but a Kylo Ren animated show. What are your thoughts on that?
Yes.
Yes.
I feel like there was so much missed with Kylo Ren, especially like the Knights of Ren. I wish they would have done more with that. There's actually like a weird, I think it's like a Halloween Lego Star Wars special where they make up this story for the Knights of Ren. And it's interesting. Kind of crazy, but interesting. And like how they came to like the temple or like the area where Kylo was training and started just terrorizing the people there and stuff. And yeah, so I think especially him being the son of Leia and Han Solo. There's so much more that they could have given him in his story.
I think that could be Tales of the Dark Side. I think that could have so much potential. Having Tales of the Dark Side, where the focus is on Kylo Ren and see him train with Luke in like the first few episodes, but then fall to the dark side. There's actually a comic book series about Kylo Ren, and I've been following it. I haven't read any of it, but I've seen YouTube videos about it. But like you see Kylo Ren being influenced by Snoke, because like we're missing some of that as well. So like just release that along with Tales of the Light Side with like Anakin Skywalker, his young days, and then you see the opposite, where like Kylo Ren's interpreting everything Anakin Skywalker did in a twisted way. You get to see, because like I feel like Ben Solo or Kylo Ren, he's probably the most in-depth character in the sequel trilogy.
Yes. Yeah.
And I think having a show of him could be really interesting and really fascinating to a lot of people. And then we could have a little bit, maybe more, it could definitely make Disney look really good, especially like spinning a positive light on the sequel trilogy, especially people who find that to be nostalgic now, 10 years later, after the first movie was released. So that's just an idea I had a while ago. I think it'd be really cool to have a show about Kylo Ren. I would definitely watch that.
That's a cool idea. Yeah, I'd love to see some more stuff with like Mace Windu too. I'm still waiting for it.
Yeah, like 20 years later, literally.
Because you have him with this purple lightsaber, which Samuel L. Jackson, he just really wanted a purple lightsaber. But then I don't know if it was George Lucas, but they give this whole backstory to like purple lightsabers are given to those that have like this understanding of the dark side and the light side and have chosen like the light side. So it's like, what is his understanding of the dark side and like what experiences has he had? And I think it would be really cool.
I think it has to do with lightsaber forms, which is kind of martial arts forms. In martial arts, I did Taekwondo for 2 years a while ago. And with a form is basically like where like you're supposed to memorize steps and movements.
Yeah.
And with the type of lightsaber form that Mace Windu knows, which very rare Jedi do, is he knows a specific form that utilizes dark side a lot, or that are kind of aggressive, because the dark side's a little bit aggressive.
Yeah.
And so that's one of the reasons why it's one of the reasons why he can like utilize both the light and the dark. Although if like Anakin were to use the same movements or methods, I think the Jedi were worried that he would fall to the dark side, which it's interesting. I just want to get into depth real quick.
Yeah.
That the Jedi were so concerned that Anakin Skywalker was going to fall to the dark side that he fell to the dark side anyways. I feel like that to me is like whatever you choose to focus on, it will grow. Whatever a person fixates on, whether it be good or bad, it will happen. If someone's having continuous anxiety about like an impending doom or future, it's like a self-fulfilling prophecy, which happened to Anakin Skywalker. Although if you twist that or change that and think of like, you know what, I'm going to become this kind of person later down the road who honors and respects and loves people, then you will focus on things that help you lead to that path. I think Obi-Wan is a very good example, and also Qui-Gon Jinn, of being the best Jedi ever, because they were focused on getting the mission done and also protecting the people that were around them. I think that's why they made the best Jedi duo.
Yeah, definitely.
But yeah, it's interesting. And also that's a quote from Qui-Gon Jinn, is like, whatever is your focus becomes your reality. And I've seen a lot of people quote that, and it's a very good quote. It's George Lucas's writing for you.
Yeah. No, that's interesting. Yeah, and I've heard like people say like, would Anakin not fall if Darth Maul hadn't killed
Qui-Gon Jinn?
Qui-Gon Jinn, yeah. I was like, Liam Neeson.
Yeah, Liam Neeson.
Because like Qui-Gon saw this potential within Anakin, and like I think he believed in him even more, definitely at first, even more than Obi-Wan did. Like when Obi-Wan started training him, he kind of saw him just as like this punk kid, someone who has potential but always is getting into trouble and stuff. And Qui-Gon, his ways are more like unorthodox than most Jedi. And I think it would have been interesting to see like the trio of them like training together if they would have had that opportunity. But yeah, it is an interesting thing because they're like, no, you can't be a Jedi Master. And they're just like set upon that it just causes him to go to the dark side. And also how they weren't listening to anyone who was saying like that Palpatine was a threat, that the Chancellor was a threat, and like that there was things that were going on. They were kind of too caught up in like their own self-glory and like that they're the Jedi and they're so great that like nothing could take them down, and that was kind of their downfall. It was like their hubris, their pride, that they couldn't see the evil right in front of their face.
Yeah. Have you read the book Darth Plagueis?
No, but I've heard about Darth Plagueis, and
I got it from the library on Libby, and it's probably one of the best Star Wars books that I've ever listened to. It goes in depth on like the plot to destroy the Jedi and the Republic, because what you were just describing, it's true that the Jedi, they had this great hubris. They were so focused on the little things, stepping over hundreds of dollars to get pennies. They were focused on like just the little things to keep their power in a way. And in a way, they were definitely falling to the dark side. But the greatest threat was Palpatine created an artificial war, and he pressured the Jedi to make bad choices. And what he also did, and a lot of people diss on Palpatine because they think, oh, he's just a laughing maniac. No, he was able to convince one of the best Jedi ever to fall to the dark side. Two Jedi fall to the dark side, Dooku and Anakin. He completely collapsed the entire Republic, created artificial artificial war, and in a lot of the Clone Wars episodes, he took over more and more of the government. There's an episode where there's a lot of plots that he's done where like he creates corruption on Mandalore, he takes control of the banking clan, he then tries to think of a way to steal Jedi Force sensitive younglings, and there's a lot of like things that lead up to Revenge of the Sith that he does. There's a really good video on YouTube called Emperor Palpatine is the Goat. I think that's what it's called. And it's a really good video essay. It's like 20 minutes long. It's by a YouTube channel called So Uncivilized. The YouTube channel is called So Uncivilized, and the video essay about Emperor Palpatine, why he's actually the best villain ever. Because he was
interesting.
He was able to, the narrator is talking about like Emperor Palpatine is like if today the Mongolian Empire, because like the whole idea is Revenge of the Sith come back and take over everything. And it's like as if the Mongolian Empire today came back and said like, yeah, we're taking over the world. And we're like, what the heck?
Yeah, like something
like,
far back in history.
Yeah, because in episode 1, Ki-Adi-Mundi says the Sith have been extinct for a millennium, which is 1,000 years. To the random galactic citizen, they're like, I've never heard of the Sith. I don't know who they are.
Yeah. That's interesting.
So it's interesting how like just this cult was able to like have such a grudge to come back 1,000 years later and just completely upset society and things like that. It's really interesting. There's dozens of great videos out there that talk about Star Wars, but like it's a reflection of I don't want to get too political, but like we have to be really careful on who we support publicly. We have to be aware of like our history as well, like the fall of the Roman Republic, which became an empire and things like that. What George Lucas was trying to tell us was that people can easily be swayed to our own dark sides, our own maladaptive behaviors, become not the best versions of ourselves. But yeah, it's interesting. All of Star Wars is really good. The George Lucas amazing part of Star Wars, where like it's in depth and the characters learn and grow from their mistakes.
Thank you all so much for listening. See you guys next time. Peace. Good times are ahead, so grab a nice hot bowl of ramen, some chopsticks, and join in on the discussion every month. You're not able to see true, like Anakin, see his face again until his son is able to bring him back. Hey everyone, welcome back to Rupees Over Ramen, the show where we talk about animation, creativity, the creative process, and tons of other nerdy stuff. Yeah, no, that's really cool. And like that, you talk about like the Roman stuff. It's interesting because I was reading some stuff about Star Wars Rebels and how there was some actually like Roman and like biblical influence in a lot of like the storytelling and characters. Like Ezra is from the Bible, and so is Kanan's real name is Caleb Doom, and Caleb is from the Bible. Rex is a Roman name for king, basically. And the idea of like this republic falling and become this empire and tyranny. And there's a lot of interesting things like reflected in Star Wars. And like in the sequels, there's a lot of different things reflected from our own history. And like there's the thing like if you don't learn from history, then you're doomed. The thing like if you don't learn from cool. And something that you were talking about like the Sith coming back and stuff, and something that's really cool to see in Rebels is you see it gives like this, I don't know if any other Star Wars thing does this as much as Rebels does, is it gives this like super deep lore to both the Jedi and the Sith side, with like these Jedi temples that Ezra is finding, and he finds a Sith temple, and like these Sith wayfinders are like these kind of like pyramid things. It gives you this whole like history and lore that Sith aren't just like this little like evil faction that just kind of showed up one day. Like it's something that's deeply rooted. The Sith and the Jedi are like the good and the bad, like deeply rooted since the beginning of time, almost like in the galaxy. And like they have these ancient Sith ruins and ancient Jedi ruins. There, Ezra is able to like talk to Yoda and different Jedi that have passed on and stuff, and they have Frank Oz voice Yoda, which is pretty cool.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
I think Frank Oz.
C-3PO is in it, and Anthony Daniels does that voice, and Lando Calrissian is in Rebels, and it's Billy D. Williams. And I love that, just sticking true to like the actors that gave those voices so well, and just bringing them back. One that was weird is, Wedge Antilles? Yeah. In Rebels, he's voiced by Nathan Kress. It like sounded like kind of familiar to me, so I like looked him up. He's Freddie, I think that was his name, from iCarly. If you ever saw that show. Yeah.
I did not see iCarly.
Yeah, he was basically one of the main characters for this kids show that was on Nickelodeon. And then he ends up voicing Wedge Antilles, which is a pretty legendary role. And one thing that I just was I've been recommended tons of videos about Ewan McGregor and like Obi-Wan Kenobi and kind of back and forth. And he actually talked about how when he went to see first Star Wars, Wedge Antilles, the guy who was the actor for him, is his uncle. And that's why he went to go see Star Wars, was so that they could see like his uncle in the show, and went there just with that, basically. Like they didn't really know what to expect, and it just kind of blew his mind, and he was later able to become Obi-Wan, which is pretty amazing.
Yeah.
Story.
That's really cool. Yeah, I remember seeing that video where he's like, yeah, my uncle was in the movie and stuff.
Yeah, it's like
funny.
deep in his bloodline. He was born for the role. So that's pretty cool. Lightsabers are really interesting in Rebels, and I haven't seen in Clone Wars, but in Rebels they're like super skinny, like ridiculously thin.
I don't know why they did that, but I think it was a stylistic choice just to show the differentiation between Clone Wars and Rebels.
Yeah,
could be. I feel like there could be different ways to interpret it, but like the storyteller is living in the Rebels era, and the storyteller, whenever we see the Clone Wars, that's just a flashback to the glory days.
Yeah.
And like the lightsaber blades are like bigger, and the lightsaber fights are more fluid and more quick and fast. I feel like that could be just a way to signal to the audience, like, this is the glorious day of the Jedi.
Yeah. Yeah.
Maybe
like
the skinny lights.
It's kind of dwindling, like the influence of the Jedi, and that's interesting.
I think I remember seeing something somewhere, like there's like a YouTube channel called Stupendous Wave, and this is one of his older videos, but he talked about why the lightsabers are so skinny in Rebels, because they're trying to mimic Episode 4 when Obi-Wan's dueling Darth Vader on the Death Star, because if you notice, his lightsaber is really skinny. So I wonder if they're trying to reference that.
I did some research, and that they said was they animated them to emulate those of the original trilogy, that original look of the lightsabers, where basically they had these reflective rods, and they would fight with them when they would shine light on, because they didn't really have CGI and they didn't have any really computers, at least in mainstream. So there's some documentaries about the original trilogies, and they're really cool, because it's kind of like this ragtag group of filmmakers and artists and stuff that just come together to make this film. And the first one especially, they didn't know how big it was going to be. They didn't know like the influence it was going to have.
Yeah,
on
it was
culture.
also going to be a completely different film. Movie series was going to be called Journal of the Wills, and the
Oh,
characters'
interesting.
names were going to be switched around, and it was going to look completely different to what we see today. But I'm glad
That's
it turned out
interesting.
the way it is now.
That's interesting. So now like talking a little bit about like the world building, that's one thing I really love in shows is like Avatar: The Last Airbender does it really well with all these different creatures and nations, and Rebels does it really cool because they create this. Lothal might have already existed, but they really focus on the planet of Lothal, and that's where Ezra Bridger was born, and kind of his history and the people there and how the Empire's coming in, taking over more places. And Ezra and the crew of the Ghost are going on all these missions to try to take down the Empire and slow down the Empire. I think it's on Lothal. They find these Jedi ruins, and there's kind of like this. It's kind of like a painting, almost like a relief sculpture, if I remember it right. And it shows all this different Jedi lore, this deep history of like these kind of godlike figures that represent these different things. Like one represents kind of the Sith, and but in interacting with this painting, they're able to travel through to this world between worlds that kind of connects all space and time. And there's some crazy stuff with where hyperspeed. Oh, I don't know if you can hear that. It's raining here, and thunder.
I can't hear any of it, but
I'm on like
I guess that's good for your listeners.
I'm on Camino right now. But hyperspeed comes from the idea of hyperspeed, and hyper travel comes from these creatures that can travel through.
The whales.
Yeah. So they have those in Rebels, and there's some really cool finale with them. I won't spoil it though, but that might have spoiled a little bit of it. But it's really interesting because they show, and it reminded me of Dune, because Dune, the hyper travel or whatever, they tie it back to some type of space creature that they learn to do this. So it reminds me of Avatar: The Last Airbender too, where it's like the Earthbenders learned how to earthbend from the badger moles. And like the airbenders learned how to bend from the air bison. And I don't know what waterbenders learned how to bend. Oh, the moon. Yeah, they learned how to bend water because of the moon.
I was going to say like a whale or something.
Yeah, the moon taught them. But in this world between worlds, Ezra is able to see this battle between Ahsoka Tano and Darth Vader. It's when Ahsoka realizes that Anakin is Darth Vader. It's like this really interesting, powerful moment because I think his helmet breaks a little bit and you can see his eye, kind of like they did in Obi-Wan. And
I wanted to comment on that. So a lot of people have noticed that, I don't remember which side. I'm just going to say the left side of it.
In Obi-Wan. And
I wanted to comment on that. So Vader's mask is torn up, but then the right side of Anakin's mask is torn up by Obi-Wan. So Ahsoka does the left side, Obi-Wan does the right side. And some people have done like comments online saying like they were able to crack the mask, but they were never able to take it off until Luke Skywalker did.
Oh, whoa, dang! I got
I was like, dang, that's so sweet and really, really tragic.
Yeah, no, it is. Because you see this in that moment, you see this like struggling little boy, basically like young Anakin under there, and he's imprisoned in this life that he's in now. And yeah, both Ahsoka and then Obi-Wan try to break through to him, but you're not able to see true like Anakin see his face again until his son is able to bring him back.
Yeah, it's like his closest friends couldn't do it until like his loved one was able to.
Yeah. No, that's beautiful. That's really cool.
Yeah.
I just wanted to research real quick who did the music, because like John Williams does the music for Star Wars. Everyone knows about him. He's pretty legendary. But who did the music for Rebels? And it's Kevin Kiner.
Yeah.
He was the one who did it for Rebels. And I found out that he also did the music for The Bad Batch, Clone Wars, and apparently also the Ahsoka Tano show, which is interesting because it seems like I haven't seen it, but I heard Ezra is in it and Sabine is in it, and they're kind of bringing back a lot of these things from Rebels in that show, which I think is interesting.
Yeah, and in the Mandalorian show, they also brought back, do you know who Bo-Katan is?
Yeah, Bo-Katan.
Yeah, they brought the actress, the voice actress who plays as her. They brought her as a live action actor as well. In that.
Yeah.
And she does a really good job. And they've done that with other people. I don't know who. Lars Mikkelsen?
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah, yeah,
He
yeah,
did that
yeah.
with Thrawn as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's interesting how they're like, yeah, we like the voices, and you guys kind of look like your animated variants, so we'll let you act as well, which is got to be really nice to the actors.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it's pretty cool. There's a lot of loyalty to the fans because they know like
Mhm.
people really have gotten connected to those characters and stuff. And
Yeah.
yeah, I don't know if they did that with Ezra. I was looking
Mhm.
at the guy who voices Ezra. He looks like he could definitely play like an older version of Ezra, but I haven't seen the Ahsoka Tano show yet, but oh, I was just gonna say the Ghost is really cool because it's kind of like I said, it's kind of like their Millennium Falcon, but each of
Mhm.
them has their own like room in that space. And one thing I remember is Sabine, she has hers like tons of graffiti and stuff on the walls. So each of them makes a room their own. They're able to be like this kind of, there's this really cool found family aspect, which I really love, where all these people come together and develop this family and are able to support each other and help each other.
Yeah, there's like so many great lessons in that. You can find safety and familial care in people that you love and trust, and I feel like that's such a good thing, especially like during times of struggle or trial. Just find a group of people who really lift you up, who really care about you, who honor and respect you, but also like just have your back and stuff. I just love that aspect of Rebels where it's the Clone Wars is very thematic and huge, and things are happening all over the galaxy. But with Rebels, it's really focused on like a singular group of people who really care about each other, and that's the part I love about Rebels. I've only seen like one or two episodes, and a whole bunch of clips online, but
Yeah, yeah.
that's the part I love.
Yeah, no, it's really cool. And when you were saying that, I was thinking about just how Star Wars does that really well too. Just like having
Hmm.
that found family aspect of all these different people coming together, supporting each other. And yeah, we're running out of time, but yeah, thank you again so
Oh,
much for
yeah.
coming on the podcast. And it was really great talking with you and
Hey, it was
catching
great
up.
to talk to you, man.
Yeah, and everyone, may the force be with you. Thank you all so much for listening. See you guys next time. Peace. Good times are ahead, so grab a nice hot bowl of ramen, some chopsticks, and join in on the discussion every month. Hey, what's up? Was just playing. Oh, was just playing some D&D. But just gonna close this up because I need to go eat some dinner and take a little bit of a break. But thanks for everyone who stopped by. Just wanted to. Gonna be doing this more. I'm hoping it works out okay with like copyright, but I want to watch like some like animatics and stuff that people have made and just kind of talk about them. This is one that I came across. It's like an Ninjago animatic, and it is made by Skidspire, but also known as Squid Squire, so one of those. But yeah, it's kind of, so just to give you like some idea, it's the song "Running Up That Hill," and it's a cover by Loveless, and was made in Procreate, Adobe Animate, and CapCut. It says 24 hours. That's pretty good. And it's about Kai and Lloyd and their dynamic, because like Kai grew up, he wanted to be the chosen one, he wanted to be the Green Ninja, and just kind of like how he dealt with that. So yeah, here it is. It's pretty cool. It's like a decently short animatic, but I just wanted to finish with that. Just kind of breaking it down a little bit. It's about like the relationship between Kai and Lloyd, and so it starts with like Kai trying on the green ninja robes, and then seeing Master Wu give them to Lloyd. Not being able to sleep, and then him and Lloyd becoming friends. I love this art style. It's really cool. There's some cool like different line weights and like colors and kind of like a watercolor type of look to it. And then he saves Lloyd. It's interesting how they show like this emotion where he's just kind of like, okay, I gotcha. Then Lloyd goes through like this traumatic thing where he meets, I'm not sure what this is a reference to, but he meets Harumi, and then she ends up being evil, but then she dies, and the building falls and he can't find her. And then Kai's there to comfort him. So yeah, it's pretty cool. And they found the cup. But yeah. Oh hey, what's up, Nike? But yeah, I'm probably gonna be finishing up. Thanks for stopping by, Nike. I need to go get some dinner. Might watch a movie. Sweet. Well, see you guys all later. Have a good night. Peace.
It's you and me.